welcome you to a sold-out Lynn Family Stadium as tonight the boys in purple look to snap a three-match losing skid, taking on one of the hotter teams in the Eastern Conference in Indy 11. So glad you could be with us tonight alongside Chris Nurse, Justin Galanti. Let's look at the Eastern Conference table. It's brought to you by PowerNet. And Chris, you see these two teams in playoff position right now, but certainly would like to be a little more comfortable than they are at the moment.
Yeah, Indy 11 just at the edge of the playoff positions, but Louisville City, even though they're secure in the playoffs right now, they'll not be happy with their standings right now. They're a team that's accustomed to challenging for first place, and they want to see themselves climbing up the table fairly quickly.
Tonight is the second meeting this season between these two rivals, and when they met in Indy a couple of months ago, it was really a low-scoring thriller. That was the one goal from Wilson Harris, and then really Oliver Zembla, the goalkeeper for Blue City, was the reason they got the 3 points.
Yeah, and that fixture, the last fixture, may not be what we see tonight. Obviously, Louisville City are in a little bit of a slump with a three-game losing streak, and Indy 11, on the other hand, have made a number of changes. A lot of first-time players, some new mid-season acquisitions, even though it's a lot of players that are familiar with the league. Probably two different lineups we're seeing them compete the first time tonight.
Let's take a look at our players to watch this evening, and this brought to you by Commonwealth Credit Union. Blue City's been in the market for a new center back for a while, and this week they were able to acquire Kyle Adams from San Diego. Yeah,
Danny Cruz was really happy with this acquisition. He's fairly clean with his technique and possession of the ball. He's good at breaking lines from the back. He's capable of getting himself on the score sheet. He's comfortable in possession, and he's left-footed centre-back, so he provides that balance at the back and being able to switch the point of attack and build out from the back.
On the Indy 11 side, Aiden Quinn, who is the all-time leader in minutes in USL Championship, and we're going to show you a little later, he had an unreal goal in Indy's win on Wednesday night against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Aiden Quinn and USL Championship go hand in hand. I don't think you mentioned one without mentioning the other, but this is a player with so much experience and leadership, and he's come up with moments of magic time and time again over the years. You're going to be excited when you see the goal that he scored midweek.
Well, Indy is coming off that 3-1 win against Pittsburgh on Wednesday night. Lou City currently in the midst of its first three-match losing streak since 2015. Going to be a tough test for the boys in purple, but they are hoping to pick up 3 points in front of a record crowd tonight. Starting lineups in the start of tonight's match on the other side of this timeout. It's Lou City and Indy 11 coming up next.
The Women's World Cup starts this week. Whoa, why are we at a soccer game?
Well, it said Women's World Cup on Fox could interrupt WDRB mornings on game days.
And when that happens, our newscast on WDRB will move to our sister station, WBKI, during the games.
When the games are over, WDRB News resumes back on WDRB.
That's what I'm talking about, Savannah. Woo!
If you want to watch the Women's World Cup here on Fox, stay on WDRB.
There's no such thing as someone else's child.
The radical left has declared war on parents, and Andy Bashir is with them. Bashir supports making it easier for children to get abortions without telling their parents. He supports allowing schools to refer children to psychological treatment without telling parents. Bashir even supports allowing school employees to secretly help children change genders without telling their parents. Andy Bashir, putting liberal politics over parents.
Tuesday on Fox.
I can't wait for this one.
The USA takes center stage in the FIFA Women's World Cup.
Game on, baby.
Alex Morgan and rising star Sophia Smith
Go, yes!
lead the defending champions into the group stage finale against Portugal.
Shot, go! That was terrific.
The FIFA Women's World Cup. Tuesday at 3 a.m. Eastern, midnight Pacific on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Tonight's starting lineups are presented by Breeze Airways. Nice, new, and non-stop. That's the Breeze way. Starting 11 for Danny Cruz's Lou City group. And Chris, 5 changes from the loss last weekend against Birmingham. And obviously the main one is Adams at center back, the newly acquired defender.
Yeah, it's kind of in synchronized with 3-game losing streak. Danny Cruz wanting to make some changes, freshen things up. We know this game is also a feisty encounter. Lots of yellow cards in the previous fixture, so it's going to be exciting to see what happens tonight.
On the Indy side, actually 6 changes from their win Wednesday night. So Mark Lowry trying to manage the workload on his guys.
Yeah, and the players that have come in are players who are familiar with the league. Pino, Chapman, Page, these are players who have played in the USL Championship before, been successful in the USL Championship before, and are kind of come into this team and provide some steel in a much needed time of the season, trying to solidify themselves in the playoff spots.
In the low 90s tonight here at Lynn Family Stadium, the real feel is obviously a little warmer than that. Boys in purple hoping to snap this 3-match losing streak. You can see 91 degrees. Our weather report brought to you by Advanced ENT and Allergy. Our head referee tonight is Ricardo Fierro, and we await his whistle to get things underway. And here we go. Lou City and Indy for the second time this year. 3 losses in a row for Lou City. And it was interesting, you know, talking with Danny Cruz this week. It seemed like maybe more of our conversation was not so much tactical, but more so managing the demeanor and body language and things like that with his group, the way that things are going at the moment.
Yeah, and I think you even listen to comments and interviews with the players, and you start to hear the words belief and motivation come into conversation. And this is a territory that this team hasn't found themselves familiar with. You know, they've always been up the top, competing for championships, winning games. Now they find themselves mid-table and on a 3-game losing streak. It's a test of character now to see how they're able to turn this around and come out from this. But you can definitely see a lack of confidence starting to creep in the team, and a lack of belief, both on an individual basis and a collective basis. And, you know, it can turn around very quickly. Goals change games, and wins change the mentality and the attitude around the whole organization. So expecting a sellout crowd tonight. They're going to be looking for a big performance.
Lou City had the 1-0 lead fairly early last weekend on a goal from Dylan Maris in the 34th minute. But after halftime, Lou City got a little tired, got a little stretched out by Birmingham, and conceded a goal, an equalizer, and then in stoppage time, a winner. This comes down, and an opportunity early for Lou City. Rasmus Tellefsen's shot was blocked, though. He was set up by Brian Ownby, and the Indy 11 try and come back the other way. 2 minutes into stoppage time, Birmingham got the winner and walked out of Lynn Family Stadium with 3 points. Meanwhile, Indy 11, a 3-1 winner at Pittsburgh Wednesday night. First road loss of the year, or first home loss of the year, I should say, for Pittsburgh. And Danny Cruz, very complimentary of this Indy 11 group that, Chris, honestly, I don't think it's an overstatement to say that Indy is the hardest team to figure out in this league this season. They're in 8th place right now in the Eastern Conference, 25 points, 6-7-7. However, against the top 3 teams in the East, they are unbeaten in 6 matches, which means they have not performed very well against the bottom teams that they have played this year.
Yeah, and with the number of changes, it can be very difficult to know what to predict. You know, sometimes the number of changes, it takes a little time for the players to get accustomed to the new circumstances, the new surroundings, to gel with their teammates. So sometimes that can lead to a little bit of a lack of cohesion and chemistry when it first begins, and then you hope that it builds over time, and then the team starts to gel as you approach the postseason. So it's a little bit unpredictable. You don't know what to expect of Indy 11 on some nights, and given the changes, you know, Danny Cruz is just going to have to hope that his team perform to their maximum capabilities and are able to take care of the situation from that standpoint without focusing too much on their opponents.
Commonwealth Credit Union has been bettering lives in the communities they serve since 1951. To learn more, visit WeSeeYouDifferently.com. Nearly a misplay by Yannick Ertl in goal there. but was able to calmly get it away. You mentioned all the changes. 5 of the 11 starters for Indy tonight were acquired at some point after the season began. And overall, 10 of the 11 are in their first season with Indy. So yeah, it's a lot of new players for Mark Lowry, who's just in his 3rd year leading this Indy 11 group that has not been to the playoffs since 2019.
Yeah, but a lot of the players they've signed are very familiar with the USL Championship. Some of them, Chapman Page, for example, has had a success in the league with Miami FC. So he's bringing in players who have a reputation in the league, are known in the league, and are very accustomed to playing in the USL Championship. But of course, we spoke about the dynamic of building chemistry and cohesion amongst your own team. So that takes a little bit of time. The dream of signing a player and they just hit the ground running, you know, that's what everybody dreams of happening. But the reality is it takes a little bit of time to build understanding with your teammates, even the top talented players. It takes a little bit of time to build that.
It's really the opposite with Lou City. We've talked a good deal about Kyle Adams tonight, who's obviously brand new to the group, but overall, it's a team that's played a lot of soccer together and been extremely successful the past few seasons. And the obvious question is, can they regain that form before it's too late here in 2023? Adams trying to play this one over the top for Amadou Diop.
Yeah, I think the glaring stat for Louisville City is they haven't been able to hit the back of the net often enough. They don't have a striker right now who's approaching 10 goals, and that's been their Achilles heel so far this season. It's not been a lack of creating chances, it's been a lack of converting chances. And that's why, as good as a signing Kyle Adams is, I'm not sure he solves the problem in terms of scoring the opportunities they're creating. He's definitely an addition in terms of bringing quality in possession when building out from the back. But in terms of solving the issues that they're having in the final third in converting chances, I don't think that's the solution, and they're probably still in the market hunting for that striker with the hot foot right now.
Wilson Harris is the leading goal scorer for Lou City with 4. He has not played actually since July 9th, so that obviously tells you something. But he is available tonight for the first time in almost a month. We'll see if he's used off the bench at any point. Indy 11 also pretty stark difference between their home and road records. They are 1-4-6 at home. 1 win in 11 matches at home this year. They've won 5 times in 9 matches on the road. Another one of those things that's just hard to figure out.
Yeah, and the crowd are definitely giving Louisville City the 12th man tonight. They've shown up in their numbers, expecting a crowd 14,000, 15,000. That should definitely add motivation and intensity to this fixture tonight in favor of Louisville City. Now, when the fans show up like that, you have to go out and perform. The expectancy raises a little bit when you get that kind of crowd, but I think this is a testament to the direction that the USL Championship heading in, that you're now seeing exponential crowds of 15,000 out for a game, and it's normal. It's become normal.
Phil the Fam, of course, the promotion tonight at Lynn Family Stadium, hoping for a record-breaking crowd. Last year on Phil the Fam night, Lou City was able to break that attendance record, and we'll see if it can get done again here tonight. 2 of the better defensive teams in the league, both in the top 7 entering this weekend. Lou City tied for 7th, conceding just 23 goals this year. Indy tied for 4th, conceding only 22 so far this season. All that to say that a lot of goal scoring is probably not on the menu this evening, but you never know.
Definitely, both teams taking a little bit of a cautious approach to begin with, but we know this fixture has been known to be extremely feisty, tenacious, hot-headed. So we expect things to heat up a little bit more as the game continues.
There's Jack Blake with some space for Indy. Out wide now for Douglas Martinez. Sends it into the box, headed away by Sean Tosh, but possession kept by Indy. By the way, Aiden Quinn, who's on the ball now, of course, played for Lou City back between 2015 and 2016. He's had a bunch of stops since then. And this is his first season with Indy 11, and last week became USL Championships all-time minutes leader. Team leading 7 goals this year for Quinn, who has started all 21 matches, including tonight. The real headline match in the Eastern Conference tonight, outside of this one, is probably the Pittsburgh-Memphis match. It was 2-0 Memphis early in that first half. Pittsburgh have come back and equalized. It's 2-2 early in the second half for a team that's struggling a bit lately. Here's Brian Ownby for Lou City. Now Amadou Dia crossed into the middle, is knocked away and recovered now by Douglas Martinez. I thought Danny Cruz made a good point to us in our conversation this week. This is not like other years where there's a team or two, like Lou City often have been, that just runs through the league with not much issue the whole season. Every single team has had a bad run of form at some point in 2023. He's hoping that this is just that run for his group, and obviously he hopes it comes to an end quickly.
Yeah, and you know, time's ticking now. They want to snap out this 3-game losing streak and turn the momentum around, because once it starts to creep into the mentality of the players, this is when it can really have an impact on the long-term success. So they'll want to get a big result tonight, especially in front of a sellout crowd. You can already see the contrast in approach to the game. Indy, a lot of short passes, keeping possession of the ball. Louisville City, on the other hand, once they win it, very direct, trying to get forward and create opportunities very quickly. So it's going to be interesting. Both teams starting the game in different ways, sparring with each other, so to say.
So 2-match week here for Indy, just 1 match this week for Lou City. Danny Cruz felt like his team certainly got fatigued in the second half last week on Saturday against Birmingham. That was their 2nd match of the week. So he's hoping basically the same thing happens to Indy tonight that happened to his group last week. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Nearly 11 minutes in here at Lynn Family Stadium. Justin Galanti, Chris Nurse, our entire outstanding crew. So glad you're with us here on this Saturday night, the final match in July for all of these teams. Hard to believe it'll already be August in a couple of days. Indy have not had much possession tonight outside of their own attacking half of the pitch, and good play there by Rasmus Tellefsen to win the ball for Lou City. Elijah Winder getting just his 7th start of the year tonight, one of the 5 new starters for Danny Cruz, at least compared to last week's starting 11. Ownby's ball into the box, comes all the way through, and it will be a corner for Lou City, first of the night, and this Lou City corner will be presented by Wi-Fi.
Great ball in from Ownby there, and that's what he brings to this squad. He's always putting dangerous balls into the box from wide areas, but you see Dia hanging out outside the box when this ball comes in. If he gambles and makes a run far post, easiest tapping he'll probably have in his career, but he was nowhere to be seen. He wasn't involved in the play. He needed to be more connected with what was happening and be making runs into the box. There was no players making runs into the box as that delivery was coming. And Ownby has been consistently a player on the right-hand side who can deliver those dangerous crosses. So they have to take a little bit more risk when they're attacking and throw bodies into the box.
33-year-old Oscar Jimenez. Stopped there by Tyler Gibson. Now Tellefsen tried to cross it in. It was up high on Martinez, but no whistle. And now Lou City will have a throw.
Boy, if Gibson had taken a better touch there on the edge of the box, he would have pulled the trigger himself, but the ball kind of got stuck underneath his feet, and he just moved it to the side to keep possession. But Louisville City now building their own little bit of a sustained possession and attacking the attacking third. See if they can make it count.
Jimenez, the one called for the foul here while he was down on the pitch.
I think the referee just perceived that he was obstructing the ball when he was on the floor with it between his legs, not allowing Indy to get it to continue play, and obviously he calls a free kick for that.
Did you get the sense in our conversation with Danny Cruz that the goal scoring issues, and there are obviously issues, they've only scored 18 goals this year, they being Lou City, It's not so much a creating chances issue, it's a finishing chances issue.
Yeah, and goal scoring is, of course, it's the hardest thing to do in the game. That's why goal scorers get paid so much money. It's not as straightforward as people may believe it is, but this is how games are won and lost. And unfortunately, this season, they haven't been good enough at converting the chances they create. Sometimes a player just has that knack. You have that player who has the tenacity and the skill and the awareness to be in the right place at the right time and has the quality to finish. And they've had players who have done that, but unfortunately, a few have dropped off of form and not been able to do it as consistently this season, and it's impacted the team significantly. But as you mentioned, they're still one of the best defenses in the league. They're still creating chances at will. They're just not converting those chances, and they're suffering because of that. There's games where they've ended up losing where they probably should have ran out winners by 5 or 6 goals, but they were unable to convert their chances.
One of those was the one here against Tulsa earlier this season, and Lou City will see them next. Danny Cruz, and the way he put it was, teams miss chances all the time. But I feel like we are missing chances by either not getting shots on target or not even getting shots away.
Yeah, and some of those chances have been literally, how do you miss that? It's hard to explain, but just sometimes when things aren't going your way, they're not going your way. And in terms of finishing chances, that's been the story far too often for Louisville City this season.
So the foul on Ownby. You wonder if it's just going to take somebody to kind of grab the bull by the horns themselves and go score 2 goals one night to sort of break this seal and turn things back in the right direction.
Yeah, but in addition to not converting chances, you're seeing Indy have the better of the possession here in Louisville's home stadium, and that's not something that you see too often. Sellout crowd, you're at home in your own circumstances. You want to be the dominant team. You want to control the tempo of the game. You want to control the possession and create chances at will. And you've seen Indy probably have the upper hand in his opening 15 minutes in terms of possession, and that's not something that Danny Cruz will take lightly. As we mentioned, he's not a coach who's just content on making the playoffs. He wants to be number one in every single statistic in every moment of the game, whether that's possession, chances creating, number one in the league table. His aspirations are to be number one. So this is something that I think he'll want to address shortly, of how they can have more possession of the ball, keep more possession of the ball, build through the thirds, and create more goal scoring opportunities.
Yeah, at least at the moment, Indy has had more than 70% of possession tonight. Fans, when Lou City wins, you win. This season, Lou City has partnered with Wendy's to give you a free small Frosty if the boys in purple win. No purchase necessary. The offer is valid the following day after a win. Head to any participating Louisville area Wendy's location to redeem. You walk outside tonight, would be a good night for a Frosty.
And I think even in addition, if you look at Indy having 73%, they've not had a shot on target. I don't even know what color jersey Semler's wearing, because he hasn't been involved. He hasn't been involved in the play to make any saves. So for that 73% that they've had, they've not really been clinical or creating anything dangerous.
This one sent out wide by Ownby. It's Lancaster off the side of the cage.
And in addition to that, now you could probably say the best chances come to Louisville City, who have just had 25% possession so far this game. So when you have the possession, you really have to make things count. But this is Ownby again, driving forward, through ball. The angle was a little bit tough. Defender does well to get across there and put him under pressure. But that's the threat that you see. When Louisville City do win back possession of the ball, they're able to counter-attack very quickly and create chances.
Brian Ownby, who's missed some time this year for Lou City, just so important to what this group does. And him coming back, vital, in the words of Danny Cruz.
I think what you do find is the team that's able to keep possession is able to conserve their energy a little bit more. So the team out of possession, especially 91 degrees heat, is doing a lot of running to ensure that they're tight and compact, and they're not allowing spaces in between players to get penetrated. Now, over time, the fatigue will kick in of just running around without the ball, and then the spaces will start to open up. Hopefully, by that time, Louisville City are able to get a grip on the game, or maybe take advantage when the counter-attacks. But this is the disadvantage that they have by not holding on to possession as long as they may like.
Dial with a strike over the bar.
Again, another good chance for Louisville City in the final third. Dia just needs to get his foot, this touch out his foot a little bit more towards goal, head over the ball, at least hit the target from that distance. And this is the clinicality and composure that's been lacking for Louisville City. Again, it's not creating chances. You can see this opening 20 minutes. It's probably been 2 or 3 chances. They definitely have created the better chances in these opening 20 minutes. It's just been hitting the target, making the keeper work.
Yannick Ertl, the starting goalkeeper for Indy 11, actually did not play on Wednesday in the win against Pittsburgh. It was the first match all year he did not start. Tim Trilk started that one. Here's a big mistake, but luckily for Indy 11, Lancaster couldn't quite keep possession of that ball.
Yeah, and that chance comes from the tenacity and mentality of Ombi. He doesn't give up. The ball's played back, and he's putting the defender under pressure and creates the opportunity for himself by working hard and putting the goalkeeper under pressure.
Now, Birmingham were really successful in transition against Lou City last Saturday. Indy have not had opportunities in transition so far tonight. A foul there against Gibson, slowing up play as he took Sebastian Guenzati down to the pitch.
Yeah, I think Gibson's lucky there not to go into the book. Here you see Ombi, that tenacity, chasing down the keeper, trying to make his own luck.
Right off Lancaster's leg. Almost a freebie for Cam Lancaster. For a team that's looking for a break, that was almost one of them.
Sometimes hard work, you chase the balls that nobody else is willing to change, and you create your own luck by working hard. Every good striker is guilty of doing exactly that, creating a chance that nobody thought they were going to have any success in winning, and next thing you know, the goalkeeper's hit it into your back, and it's in the back of the net.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Tell you what, something has gotten into that Pittsburgh group. They have scored 4 goals in what feels like the last 10 minutes and now lead Memphis 4-2. So the top team in the Eastern Conference seemingly finding its form again.
Yeah, listen, good teams find a way to win games even when they're performing badly. I think you've seen Pittsburgh time and time again find a way to get the result, irrespective of how the performance may look sometimes.
Danny Cruz has pointed out time and time again, this is largely the same group that scored north of 70 goals last year. So he has every belief in the world that things are going to start happening for his team in terms of goal scoring. Question is when. Winder, it'll be a free kick for Lou City.
Yeah, and you know the saying goes that form is temporary and class is permanent. So he knows that these players have the class and the caliber and the capability of scoring those chances. They're just having a little bit of rut of form right now, suffering from a little bit of lack of confidence and a little bit of lack of belief. So I imagine he's doing everything within his power to try and restore that confidence and belief in the team, to allow them to continue to believe in themselves. And then over time, I think that the team will start to pick up performances once again.
This Lou City free kick is presented by Fifth Third Bank. Yannick Ertl, 26 years old, first season with Indy. Spent last year with Hartford Athletic on loan from New England Revolution. Played his college soccer at UCF. So it's Lancaster and Jimenez standing over this one for the boys in purple. See if they can test Ertl. Lancaster off the bar. It's loose in front, headed up by Serrano. Ownby now, and a whistle What a chance for Cam Lancaster.
And this is maybe just the luck again. 1 inch lower, and this is in the back of the net. Great effort there from Lancaster. The keeper was waving to his family in the stands. He was getting nowhere near that ball. Ricochets off the crossbar and back out. Nobody able to be there for the tapping, but what an effort there from Lancaster.
So we remain 0-0, but feels like Lou City have taken some control of this match. Just past midway through the first half here at Lynn Family Stadium. And you were right with what you mentioned earlier about not even knowing what color jersey Zembla's wearing tonight. We've not really called many of the Indy players' names so far.
Yep, and you know, they've had 70% of the possession, but it's not really been dangerous or threatening as such.
It's all been on this half of the pitch, at least seemingly. Jack Blake starting something back the other way. Bounding ball comes over the end line, and it will be a corner for Indy 11.
When Indy have been building out, they've done a good job of finding Guenzati in little pockets, but he's most of the time when the ball's coming into him, instead of being on the half turn able to go forward with his next pass, most of the time the ball's come into him and he's ended up playing backwards, which just slowed down their momentum and being able to counter against Louisville City. I think that if they're able to find Guenzati in pockets where his next pass is forward or he's able to drive forward, this is where they could really threaten Louisville's back line.
Now, both goals for Birmingham last weekend against Lou City were on corners. This is the first one that Lou City have to defend tonight. Sebastian Velasquez. And now Jack Blake once again. Cross comes in, headed away from trouble. Well defended by Lou City. This one comes towards Zembla, and he gets his first touch of the night.
He's wearing blue.
There we go. 25-year-old making his 18th start of the year. Kyle Morton has missed most of the year with injury. 9 clean sheets for Zembla. He's approaching the USL Championship rookie record. Yeah, that was over the sideline. A late whistle, but it looked like the right call. It'll be an Indy throw.
It's not a bad idea from Dia. Had he kept that in play, it was a fairly dangerous ball over the top of the Indy 11 defense.
So Macaulay King to take this throw. Here against Douglas Martinez. Martinez was acquired by Indy just after the season started, March 17th. Got him from Sac Republic.
And you can see Quinn is dropping deeper now to pick up the ball. He does have the quality to provide assists for his teammates despite being the top scorer in his team. You can sense that frustration he's having while he's coming deeper to pick it up to try and create, because he's not getting enough touches in the attacking third for Indy 11 right now, so he's dropping deeper to try and get himself involved in the game.
Lancaster back towards the middle. And a Lou City throw coming. Tellefson, Lancaster, Jimenez, Winder, and Adams, the 5 starters tonight for Lou City that did not start against Birmingham last Saturday. Dia had a good chance earlier. Crosses this one. Now Jimenez back towards the middle, and it's in! Winder, 1-0, Lou City.
I almost dropped my drink, Justin. I thought he did everything he could do not to score it. But on this occasion, the ball ends up in the back of the net. Not the cleanest of finishes. Bobbles up off his foot, his knee, his shin pad. I don't think Danny Cruz cares as long as the ball's in the back of the net. But this has been the dominance that Louisville City have had in creating chances. They've definitely been the better team in the final third, despite not having the most possession. And they find themselves in the lead 1-0 at home in front of their sellout crowd right now.
It's the 20-year-old Winder's first goal of the season. And Lou City have the 1-0 lead.
Unorthodox finish, but you really don't care whether it goes in off your knee, your thigh, your calf, however it goes in, as long as it crosses the line, that's all you care about.
And how important for Lou City, you know, you mentioned all the work they've done so far in this first half to pay it off with a goal. You would have felt terrible had they not done that.
Yeah, and I think now the momentum will shift. They'll have the home confidence. They're up a goal. Now they can change their approach a little bit. They can relax a little bit and take the pressure off themselves. I think, as we spoke about, belief, mentality, confidence, they're probably questioning themselves individually and collectively. And now having that first goal, hopefully now that can kick them on now to go and play with a little bit more expression, less fear, a little bit more confidence, a little bit more belief in themselves, and start to take this game by the scruff of the neck. For Indy 11, on the other hand, dominated possession, but not created anything from it. So how do they now adjust, now being a goal behind? Now they have to be a little bit more thinking and a little bit more forward thinking and take a little bit more risk in how they're playing it and really try to get their strikers involved in the game, because we've not seen them too often at all.
That goal for Lou City presented by Kentucky Lottery. Fueling imagination, funding education. Kentucky Lottery. And we'll have our hydration break here as we approach the half-hour mark. You know, what's interesting is, and Danny Cruz didn't seem all that interested in the Eastern Conference table, but we are. We're the people that get to look at that.
Yep.
And when this kind of down spell started for Lou City, they were sitting at 4th in the Eastern Conference. Entering play tonight, they were tied for 5th. So despite losing 3 times in a row, for the first time in nearly 8 years, it has barely affected where Lou City sits in the standings. And obviously, if you keep losing, it's a problem. But if you can turn things around, you haven't dug yourself too big of a hole here.
Yeah, and I think that, as you mentioned, when this little rut that they're in now started, they were maybe 3 points or 5 points off the top of the table, and that's where they had their eyes set. Now they're looking at the teams below and around them, holding on for the last playoff spot. But the problem is the mentality and the belief in the players. That's something that can creep in and have a bigger long-term impact. So it's really important at this phase of the season that they turn that around very quickly and start to build momentum, build belief, and build confidence in the players. So then approaching the postseason, when there's a lot more at stake in each fixture, players are performing at their maximum potential, especially in terms of clinicality and converting chances, the back four and the ability to keep clean sheets and work cohesively as a unit of one. And obviously midfielders being able to be the linchpin between the attack and the defense. And goalkeepers obviously are a huge part of that also. So I think that, you know, now is the time to turn it around. They can't afford to let it drag on much longer. And tonight's been a good start in terms of creating chances in the final third and converting. They're off to a decent start.
Goal came in the 28th minute from Elijah Winder, his first of the year. Welcome to the fans watching this game on WBKI, the official broadcast home for Louisville City FC. Another corner coming for Lou City, presented by Wi-Fi. Second corner of the night for the boys in purple. Their lone goal last time against Indy 11 on a corner, scored by Wilson Harris. It's a low ball from Jimenez, and the last touch was, I believe, off Wes Sharpie, so it'll be a goal kick for Ertl.
Yeah, not sure what was going on with that delivery. Didn't really give his teammates a ball that they could attack. Poor build out there, play from Indy 11.
See if it costs them. Lancaster trying to get to it, but Ertl falls on top.
Thought the opportunity was there for Lancaster to just drop that off first time to his teammate who was making a run into the box, but tried to get it out so he could take that shot off himself. Keep it in well to gather the ball.
Shots are 5-0 for Lou City so far.
The danger is that when you have players with the quality that Guenzati and Pino have, all they need is half a chance and they can turn this game on its head. The problem is Indy 11 haven't been deep enough into the final third on a consistent enough basis to create anything for them to convert. But they're definitely two players you can't afford to take your eye off or get caught sleeping, because they could turn this game around in half a second.
That's what we saw last weekend in the Birmingham match. Lou City dominating for quite a while, and then things flipped at halftime. So Lou City, I mean, it's obvious, but for how well it is played so far, would love to add another goal to this league.
And then you see there Chapman Page, not in the same, we talk about chemistry, cohesion. That ball is to nobody. There's nobody making the run. So sometimes it can take a little bit of time to build that cohesion and players to get an understanding of habits, or to read body language, or to read certain cues when players are in possession of the ball to be effective. And here you can see just that lack of chemistry in the build of the attacking third for Indy 11 has definitely been evident in this opening 35 minutes, because there hasn't been too much clear understanding of making runs and executing passes and link-up play.
Callum Chapman Page was acquired just a couple days ago, July 21st, from Miami FC. Gustavo Risi went down to South Florida as the corresponding move.
And you know that if you look at both of these teams, they've made acquisitions in defense. When they've been both teams have been fairly decent in defensive, but obviously they place a huge emphasis on that. They want to try and keep it as solid as possible, but I think that's the foundation that both these teams build themselves upon, is having a strong foundation at the back defensively, and then giving the attackers the freedom to go and create and score goals.
A race for this one, and Zemla gets there first.
Yeah, it looked like the Louisville City back line there was almost caught sleeping.
To say Indy 11 have undergone a facelift over the last year or so, it's kind of an understatement. It is hard to pick out a player on this roster that was part of the group prior to last August. A couple guys that were acquired midseason last year that are still with the group, but so many new players. Obviously, Mark Lowry came over from El Paso in 2021. A number of players who played for him in El Paso are on this roster, but it's certainly a talented group that at times this year have been able to put it together, just not quite consistently enough. And you know, they seem to raise their game against the better opponents and sometimes struggle against the teams further down in the table.
Yeah, and of course this is Lowry getting a little bit of tussle there. Thought he was going to take the throw in himself, Lowry.
Oh, here's a chance. Velasquez just wide.
That wasn't far away at all, and you probably have to give Lowry credit. He gets the ball quickly, gives it to one of his players so they can get the ball into play. But that's a warning sign there. That great opportunity there for Velasquez to get his team back on level terms. Maybe should have gone across the goalkeeper. It's not far away at all.
It's twice in a row, though, that it sort of seemed like the Lou City defense was on its heels, fell asleep, whatever.
Yeah, man, I think this is where Semler needs to be communicating to his defenders to be aware and not get caught sleeping, because now on the upper hand they're getting very focused on the ball instead of being aware of the attackers or runs being made in behind and making sure they're in good positions to anticipate or mark or be close to strikers.
That was the first shot of the game for Indy. Dia trying to send it in, but it is headed away.
Great crossfield pass there. I think it was Tosh just finding Dia in space, switching the point of attack.
Racing Louisville fans, the next home match is on Saturday, August 19th at 7:30 p.m. against Angel City. Come out to Lynn Family Stadium to support your Racing Louisville FC. Tickets are on sale now at racingloufc.com/tickets. Chris, this was true yesterday, and not sure if it's still true today, but I saw this posted that of all clubs in the world, the most goals scored at the Women's World Cup so far by members of Racing Louisville.
Yeah, I mean, they're a very strong women's team, and being able to perform at a World Cup, you know, I think that's every kid's dream, whether you're a boy or girl, to compete in the World Cup. So they're definitely representing their country and their team extremely well right now.
Getting towards the latter stages of the first half here. Lou City with the goal in the 28th minute from Elijah Winder, his first of the year. They've held on to that lead since. Winder steps forward to take this ball away. A bit heavy on the first touch. Comes to Ownby now. Brian Ownby did not get much on that one.
Chapman Page guilty of a couple careless giveaways at the back there.
Quinn for the foul there. Took Sharpie down.
And now you see how the goal has completely changed the momentum and the control of the game. Louisville City now passing the ball around a little bit freer. Indy 11 sitting back, not pressing him aggressive, not in control, dictating the tempo of play as much as they were in the opening exchanges.
You know, when you've watched Lou City these last couple weeks, you can almost tell that the guys are playing with a 50-pound boulder on their shoulders. You wonder if some of that got released, some of that pressure with the goal.
Yeah, and I think they're actually getting a lot of success.
Lancaster is asking for Ricardo Fierro to take a card out, but it doesn't look like he will. Douglas Martinez was the one who was grappling with him there. And that's Indy against Lou City for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always fun. It's a situation where you're frustrated. You don't want to react, but at the same time, if the referee's not going to take action for you not reacting, then you're left almost with no choice. But just obviously the game's heating up a little bit for both. Indy 11 down a goal, feel like they've been controlling possession but unable to create anything. Louisville City, on the other hand, up a goal, on the front foot, excited, wanting to get the ball back in play and create more chances. You can respect what Indy 11 are trying to do in their build-up from the back here, but it's just not been that effective. Chapman Page has been caught on the ball a few times. When they've been put under intense pressure, they played it forward and given away possession, and Louisville have just been able to recoup the ball and counter-attack time after time. I think they had to find a way to be more successful in this game, because right now the pressure that Louisville are putting them when they're trying to build up from the back is not allowing them to be very successful.
You can see that the endless effort from Brian Ownby is making a big difference tonight as well. Gibson cleared away.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of not allowing the centre-backs to have time on possession and to get comfortable with the ball. And as a result, they're lacking options to find easy passes and ended up turning it over or being put under pressure and end up poking the ball away from him. There's a couple times when the defenders have won free kicks, but it's been very, very close margins and could be proved to be very costly for Indy 11 if they continue to play that style.
It's not been a busy night for Kyle Adams in his debut with Lou City. This one sent in. Nearly a dangerous situation there.
Just wanted your midfielders to be reading that, looking to pick up the second ball.
You know, you wonder what it's like for Kyle Adams or any player that gets the opportunity to jump right into a playoff contender as opposed to where he was in San Diego, where they were struggling a little bit.
Yeah,
certainly turns your perspective on things.
And I think he has a great opportunity here because he's coming to a team that's lost 3 games on the bounces, and he can come in and be part of that catalyst to turn things around immediately. I think he's had a fairly quiet night so far. He hasn't been tested defensively. Things could change in the second half.
Enoch Mushagalusa was the one sent to San Diego this week, but Danny Cruz said in his media availability they still have him under contract. Here's a ball sent in, cleared away. Second ball opportunity. Tellefson couldn't quite step to it. Toch able to keep the play going, though.
Great delivery again, and you're just looking for that player with that striker's instinct, making the run across the goalkeeper because there's an easy tap in there. It's a great delivery here. Just anybody making that first post rush, get in front of the defender, and it's a fairly straightforward tackle. But this is where Louisville City have had the dominance in their attacking third, created numerous chances, and there's still only one goal ahead. You know, Indy 11, they've had a couple of dangerous chances, and when their backline has been, when the Louisville backline has been tested on a couple of occasions, it has looked a little bit shaky in all fairness. So I think there's goals for Indy 11 in the second half. But Louisville City definitely need a couple more if they're going to walk away with 3 points tonight.
Just to finish on Mushagalusa, he'll be back next year, but an opportunity for him to go get a lot of playing time as well in San Diego. See how he can finish the year.
Yeah, and Mushagalusa, you know, he was an exciting player. I thought there's games when he was able to come in from the bench and have a tremendous impact. It'll be good for him to get a lot of games under his belts, get minutes, build confidence and belief again for himself. And then obviously, Danny Cruz already spoke about he's going to be next year. He's still a big part of his plans. He's not out of the window by any means.
See if Indy can create something before the end of the first half. Pino trying to get to that ball, but it's headed away by Adams, who gets a nice ovation from the crowd. Maybe the first he will get here at Lynn Family Stadium. And I think Ownby's going to get the call against him here as he ran right into Adrian Dispay. No word yet on stoppage time here in the first half. Now the fourth official says 2 minutes of added time here in the first half.
Of course, if you're Indy 11 here, you're trying to get the ball forward and at least create one more goal scoring opportunity, see if you can get to halftime on level pegging. Louisville City, on the other hand, everybody back behind the ball, don't allow any goal scoring opportunities. Careless giveaway from Indy 11 there gives them possession of the ball, and they won't be in any rush to get this back into play.
You know, expected goals are not necessarily the end-all be-all of things, but right now they do tell kind of a good story. It's 1.16 for Lou City and 0.1 for Indy 11.
Yeah, and look, stories are not always fairy tales. Indy 11 have had 70% possession and created one shot, not even 0 shots on target in 45 minutes. So possession is not indicative of the whole game, whereas Louisville City, on the other hand, 29% possession, had 7 shots, 1 on target, which was the goal.
$349 total passes for Indy in this first half against 135 for Lou City. Seems as if Danny Cruz's group has said, okay, you can have the ball, but you're not doing anything with it.
Exactly that. Indy haven't been effective in their passes or possession that they've had in this opening half, whereas Louisville City, on the other hand, have been extremely effective. We'd love to see them be a little bit more clinical, but they've definitely been very effective.
Diaz cross in, punched away by Ertl. Perhaps the final actions of the first half here. Ownby got his head on it, cleared towards the sideline, and that'll take us to halftime. So the goal in the 28th minute from Elijah Winder is the lone tally, and Lou City with a 1-0 advantage going into the break.
Yeah, I think it's been a good first half for Louisville City. I don't think 1 goal is enough for them to win this game. I think they either need to come out and score more goals, or they need to have a team focus on being more defensively solid. I think a couple of times Indy 11 has put the back four under pressure. They've exposed their cracks. So expecting to see a more unified approach.
So Winder with the goal, and Lou City for the second consecutive match up 1-0 at home at the break. We'll be back in just a moment from Lynn Family Stadium.
The Women's World Cup starts this week. Whoa, Why are we at a soccer game?
Well, it said Women's World Cup on Fox could interrupt WDRB mornings on game days.
And when that happens, our newscast on WDRB will move to our sister station, WBKI, during the games.
When the games are over, WDRB News resumes back on WDRB.
That's what I'm talking about, Savannah. Woo!
If you want to watch the Women's World Cup here on Fox, stay on WDRB.
Tuesday on Fox.
I can't wait for this one.
The USA takes center stage in the FIFA Women's World Cup.
Game on, baby.
Alex Morgan.
What a goal for Morgan.
And rising star Sophia Smith.
Goal, yes!
Lead the defending champions into the group stage finale against Portugal.
Shot, goal. That was terrific.
The FIFA Women's World Cup. Tuesday at 3 a.m. Eastern, midnight Pacific on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Commonwealth Credit Union is growing and hiring. If you have a passion to help others, come check us out. Our mission is to better lives in the communities we serve through financial products and services, leading-edge technology, and a commitment to treat every person with respect. If you'd like to join our team, visit our website to learn more about our extraordinary culture, pay, benefits, and the many more reasons we are voted the best place to work in Kentucky. Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Kroger, we invest in local farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes as fresh as it gets. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Boost by Kroger Plus is more than worth it. Give it to me, I'm worth it. With 2 times fuel points and free delivery, you can save up to $1,000 per year. Try Boost free for 30 days. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Back at halftime in Louisville. Halftime is presented to you by Breeze Airways. Nice, new, and non-stop. That's the Breeze way. Justin Galanti, Chris Nurse, so glad you're with us. 1-0, Lou City with the lead at the brink. We've talked a good amount about this, but it's been a bit of a rough run for the boys in purple the last couple weeks. Last 2 matches against Detroit City and Birmingham last week, and neither ended up going Lou City's way.
Yeah, and as we've already alluded to in this game, this is a defense that's capable of conceding goals. Irrespective of how the offense have been playing, if they're going to win games, if they're going to get 3 points, if they're going to climb up the table, that defense is going to have to stop conceding as many goals as easily as they have been. As you mentioned, last week's games, 2 set pieces, 2 goals. They're going to need to stabilize and be a little bit more solid at the back.
Well, Danny Cruz is hoping that one win will sort of open the floodgates for his team. And, well, they're hoping to get 3 tonight and then have the floodgates open as August begins. At Tulsa next week, then a real tough game against Charleston. RGV sort of at the bottom of the Western Conference right now, a rematch with Birmingham, and then Oakland will be here on the 26th.
Yeah, in the second half of the season, every game proves out to be tough because everybody's fighting for something. You have a couple teams that are outside the playoffs that are trying to creep in, and you have teams that are competing to be number 1. So every game is going to be tough for them from now to the end of the season. But I already asked Danny Cruz about this game against FC Tulsa if he felt a little bit hard done by them walking away with 3 points in the home fixture, where it was one of those games they probably should have won by 3 or 4 goals. He said he doesn't want to think about that till after tonight's fixture, but he definitely has it in the back of his mind.
On the Indy side, well, they did something Wednesday night no one has all year, and that's win in Pittsburgh, and that goal from Aiden Quinn was a big reason why.
Yeah, and if you look at initially the goalkeeper's way off his line when this play starts, but when Quinn finishes, the goalkeeper's not too far off his line at all, but it's a great finish to finish from that distance and beat the keeper. I think it deserved its place on SportsCenter, to be fair. Should have been number 1.
A 3-1 win Wednesday night. It was 3-0 until, I believe, the 89th minute when Show and Me scored that one for Pittsburgh. But that was window dressing on an ugly pig for the Riverhounds that night, as Indy 11 were able to pick up the 3 points. And the next 5 for Indy, these are really important. 2 against Memphis, which is, middle of the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference right now. But as we've talked about a lot, Indy's problems have not come against the best teams in this league. It's come against the teams that are not in the playoffs or at the bottom of the playoffs right now. So these are the matches they need to start winning if they're going to get off that playoff bubble. They're in 8th right now.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the best teams in the league normally start to pick up their momentum towards the latter end of the season because they want to take that momentum, confidence, wins going into the postseason. The lesser teams, they play with a little bit more desperation towards the end of the season because everybody wants to try and creep into that 8th spot, 7th spot to get into the playoffs. So you never know what to expect in these fixtures, but the same, we've seen a couple different versions of Indy 11 this season. We've not been able to really predict which one's going to show up.
We're going to take a break here. On the other side, we'll check out some news and notes from around the league and look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Halftime here in Louisville, 1-0, Lou City over Indy 11.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Back at halftime, look at that sunset at Lynn Family Stadium. Spectacular night, spectacular start for the boys in purple, ahead 1-0 after 45 minutes. Let's look at some of the news and notes around USL Championship. This week's Player of the Week, Ryan Telfer from Miami FC, voted by the Championship Player of the Week presented by Konami eFootball. A welcome back. How about Tampa Bay Rowdies hiring former Rowdy Nicky Law as the club's next head coach? He comes over from Huntsville in MLS Next Pro after, of course, Neil Collins departed a couple weeks ago to take a job overseas. And on August 9th, next week, Colorado Springs Switchbacks and FC Tulsa will continue the USL on ESPN2 series, 9 Eastern on August 9th. But what do you think about Tampa Bay having to make a coaching change mid-season? Never easy to do.
Yeah, and it's proven out to be a good start for Nicky Law. They're 2-0 up against Tulsa right now in his first game in charge, so he's off to a good start.
We look at the upcoming schedule around the league, and Lou City, as we told you, will be playing Friday against FC Tulsa, and I think all eyes are going to be on that Saturday night match between Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, obviously Pittsburgh, one of the strongest teams in the league. Tampa under new leadership, going to be an interesting matchup, but we also spoke about the matchup with Louisville City and FC Tulsa. Tulsa have been picking up good form recently. They stole 3 points away from Louisville City on the previous encounter. Going to be interesting to see how Louisville City approach that game.
Right now, as Chris mentioned, Tampa Bay up 2-0 over FC Tulsa. That match in the 67th minute. A look around the league, full time, Pittsburgh were down 2-0. They win 4-2. What a comeback for them to pick up all 3 points against Memphis. Tampa Bay up 2-0, as we told you. Birmingham 1-0 over Charleston. Birmingham, another team that's picking up its game as the season goes along. Miami 2-1 over Loudoun United. And at halftime, how about that high-scoring affair between RGV and El Paso, 3-2 after 45 minutes. Second half is on the way from Lynn Family Stadium. We're going to take one more break. When we come back, highlight stats in the start of the second half as the boys in purple look to finish off a victory tonight to snap the 3-match losing streak and get things going back in the right direction. Second half, right after this.
Did you know taking care of your teeth and gums helps control blood sugar levels? A healthy smile means a healthier you. We can help you get there. Mortensen Family Dental. Schedule online at mortensendental.com. Did you know taking care of your teeth and gums helps lower your risk of heart attack? A healthy smile means a healthier you. We can help you get there. Mortensen Family Dental. Schedule online at mortensendental.com.
Well, they say the grass is greener there, but ours is dreamy blue. And there's no place I would rather be than Kentucky with you.
Halftime here in Louisville. Halftime is presented to you by Breeze Airways, nice, new, and nonstop. That's the Breeze way. Justin Glancy, Chris Nurse, our whole crew, glad to be with you. Let's look at the highlights from the first 45 minutes of play. And the story was Indy with really all the possession, Chris, but Lou City with all the chances.
Yeah, Indy 11 had a lot of possession, but they're just unable to do anything clinical with it. And when Louisville City did win possession, they're very direct. It was get the ball forward. A few early threats here in the opening 20 minutes.
That was Lancaster in the 17th minute, and just about 3 minutes later, another chance that was set up by the pressure of Brian Ownby.
Terrible pass there from the defender back to the goalkeeper, but Ownby, he doesn't give up on it, and Neddy creates his own shot. Own luck with a goalkeeper ricocheting that shot off Lancaster, but lucky the ball went out of play.
Lancaster with this free kick off the woodwork, but just about 5 minutes later, Elijah Winder finally able to get Lou City on the board.
Dia here switching the ball, great pass, and does everything he can not to score it, but ends up putting it to the back of the net and giving his team a valuable 1-0 lead.
First goal of the season for Winder, 37th minute. This was really the only opportunity that Indy 11 had in the first half. This is Velasquez.
Yeah, and there you see the cracks in that back line getting exposed. Gibson tracking back there to put Velasquez under pressure. Neither centre-back anywhere to be seen. There's goals for Indy 11 in this game if they can get the ball into the final third and put this Louisville City defense under pressure.
These are our first half stats brought to you by Pave Masters. 7-1 shots in favor of Lou City. 70% to 30% possession in favor of Indy 11. Hard to figure if you're just looking at that sheet, but when you watch the match, you understand that pretty much all of Indy's possession have been in their own attacking half of the pitch. Or own defending, I should say. Second half about to get underway on a beautiful night here in Louisville. You mentioned at the end of that first half, you kind of understand what Indy was doing for 45 minutes, but it was clearly not working. What do you think the conversation at halftime was between Mark Lowry and his group?
I think he will encourage them to continue playing the style that they're playing. Very possession-based build out from the back. You can see there's a lot of intent in what they're doing, but it's just not been good enough from a quality standpoint. When they've been building up from the back, they've actually been turning the ball over to Louisville City frequently, allowing Louisville City to get the ball high up the field in areas where they can quickly create goal-scoring opportunities. I think there's passes that they've been making to Guenzati, which has been breaking lines. Can they get that ball to Guenzati and he may be able to now play forward rather than then playing backwards and allowing Louisville to kind of keep them in the defensive third. So I think where they're possessing, how they're possessing, the forward-thinking patterns and then the movements after they make the balls forward is probably where Mark Lowry would have had conversation with his team.
By the way, Lou City and Indy have now played 3 halves against each other this year. And Indy have not found a goal yet against Lou City, so that can start to weigh on you a bit. Now, they had some glorious chances the last time these two teams met. That was on May 27th, but Oliver Zembla was unbelievable that day. Some of the saves he made, keeping the sheet clean. But Oliver Zembla had about as relaxing a first half as you'll ever see for a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think he'd be happy that he wasn't called into action too many times in that opening 45 minutes. But I envision some changes in the second half. I don't think Mark Lowry is going to let his team control possession and not be more efficient or effective in what they do with that possession. So it's going to be interesting to see what adaptations they make in the second half to be more productive with the possession they have.
And how much do you think it matters to apply pressure to a unit, a back line that's starting a center back that didn't know anyone on this team until 3 days ago?
You know, I think you saw a couple of times in that first half when Indy 11 did get the ball forward and put the defense under pressure, there was opportunities there, but they just didn't do it frequently enough. I think they need to find the opportunities and the moments to put that defense under pressure, and evidently they have the quality to capitalize.
Lancaster having one just wide.
Ambitious effort there. Be doing very well to beat the keeper from that distance. But if you don't shoot, you don't score.
And I'll tell you what, Lancaster did not get the start last Saturday against Birmingham. Came on as a reserve, but wasn't all that impactful. It seems like whatever message that Danny Cruz sent was received, because he has been impactful so far tonight.
Yeah, and look, as a striker, your job is to score goals. You can do all the running you want, you can do all the pressing you want, you can make all the passes you want. At the end of the day, the rest of the team is building to get you into dangerous areas to score and convert your chances. And I think Danny Cruz shaking things up a little bit is holding those strikers accountable that, hey, you have a job to do in this team, and you need to do it a little bit better. Both teams guilty of giving away these passes in the opening 3 minutes of this game. Louisville City twice to kick the ball out of play, and there you see Indy 11 coming out similar. Teams just need to settle down and find the easy pass, be composed in possession.
A race for this one. Lancaster trying to get there, but good recovery by Indy. And Ertl was able to play it away from trouble. Blue City entering play tonight. Level at 32 points with Birmingham. Birmingham with a game in hand. And 2 points ahead of Memphis, which have already lost tonight. Birmingham, as we told you, with a 1-0 lead in the second half. So Blue City trying to keep pace for that tie for fourth at the moment. Tyler Gibson for Ownby. Gibson trying to find a runner. Winder couldn't quite get to it though. Bounces up high on Dia, and then whistle sends it the other way. I think they said it bounced off Dia's arm a little earlier in the sequence.
Good idea there from Gibson. Tries to deliver the ball to the back post, whereas there's been opportunity a few times tonight. If Dia gambles making a run in between the fullback and the centre back, or coming in late at that far post, there's been a number of good deliveries into that area.
Another pretty immediate giveaway by Indy. What a chance here to save by Ertl. Best save of the night for Yannick Ertl.
I think it was Lancaster again there pulling the trigger from distance.
Lancaster is pretty darn close to having a pair of goals tonight. Nothing on his ledger yet. Lou City's 1-0 lead only lasted about 10 minutes into the second half last weekend. So far, seems like they've continued to play well for about 6 minutes coming out of the locker room. I don't know if there's a comparison to make, but Lou City, one of those groups that no matter how the regular season goes, if they can start to put things together the last month or two, maybe even just the last month or couple of weeks, certainly not a team that anybody is going to want to see in the playoffs. I don't care what seed they have next to their name going in.
Yeah, and similar to Pittsburgh tonight, winning is contagious. And once you get into the habit of winning, somehow you always just seem to find a way to win games. Even when you're not performing to your best, you find a way to win games, you find a way to score goals. And that's what they've got to do. They've got to find a way to score goals if they're going to be successful postseason. And they're figuring it out, but they're not quite there yet.
That Lou City free kick was presented by Fifth Third Bank. And on the other side, still, you know, a strong defensive group. And if you're not giving up goals, you really only need to find one a night. And then, you know, you find yourself advancing and maybe in a league final once again. Still a lot of time to go before that, though. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN+. The home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com.
Great little pass around the corner there from Quinn in the middle of the park.
Brian Ownby. Now Oscar Jimenez. Ownby making his run in. And this will be a corner for Lou City.
Definitely looks like a little bit of fatigue is starting to creep into the legs of the Indy 11 team. Louisville City breaking forward at speed, and you can just see the intensity in some of the recovery runs from Indy 11 players. Starting to get the better of them.
This Lou City corner is presented by Wi-Fi. Of course, remember, Indy played Wednesday night. Lou City have had a full week off. Jimenez services in, bodies down in the box, goes all the way through off a touch. And this will be a throw for Indy 11, deep in its own third.
I think it's Adams that actually ends up heading that way for a throw-in.
Always a good guess to think it's the guy with the most hair on the pitch. Again, another takeaway for Lou City. Ownby with a head of steam, and this will be another corner. Bad break, I guess, for Indy. Dispay was the one who touched it. That ball really wasn't going anywhere dangerous, but Dispay couldn't have known that.
Yeah, that strike from Ownby wasn't threatening whatsoever. It looked like it was going to be better driving forward the ball, got the ball at his feet, looked like he was going to hit a rocket on target, but scuffed it badly, and it was actually going out of play, but Dispay deflected it out for a corner kick.
Another corner kick presented by Wi-Fi. See what Jimenez does this time. Winder got a touch on it. Adams was waiting for it, but Indy able to clear. So no trouble defending those set pieces tonight for the visitors. Indy 11 in 8th place entering the night. Lou City in 5th in the Eastern Conference, trying to snap a 3-match losing streak. Indy 11 coming off 3 straight matches against the top 3 teams in the Eastern Conference standings. 2 ties and a win in that 3-match stretch, but trailing here in the second half at Lou City.
Louisville City doing a very good job of closing down the players in the center of the park, not allowing them to get time and space on the ball to drive forward. A couple of dangerous passes there from Velasquez and Quinn trying to break through the midfield line, but Louisville City were able to stand strong.
Here's Aiden Quinn. Some room to roll for Aiden Quinn. Out wide it goes. Gonzatti can't put it on target. And there was no touch, so a goal kick for Oliver Zemla. And Gonzatti brought a hunk of turf with him.
Yeah, Quinn doing a good job of trying to take the game by the scruff of the neck for Indy 11. Starts off with a good ball around the corner and then receives it back and is driving forward. Tries to play in Gonzatti, but
it's a really awkward fall there. It's actually his knee that took up all the grass.
Anticipating some changes here shortly for Indy 11.
Gonzatti, his first year with Indy 11, played with Tampa Bay Rowdies from 2017 through last season. Had a goal on Wednesday, now 32 years of age. Second leading scorer on this team behind Quinn with 4 goals. Di able to hold up his run? No, he wasn't. Offside. And here we will get our first subs of the night. Mijak Jerome and Yunus Boudadi coming on for Indy 11. Boudadi coming off the bench for the first time all year tonight, as Pino leaves in favor of Jerome, and Chapman Page off as well. But Boudadi, 18 appearances, all starts this year. Meanwhile, Jerome, 13th appearance, he has started 7 times. So some fresh legs on here for Indy 11.
Yeah, it was a really quiet night tonight for Pino. You know, he has a lot of quality, scores a ton of goals, but wasn't very effective tonight. Wasn't found with any good service, no chances created for him. Struggled to have a lot of touches on the ball tonight. He'll be disappointed with that.
Those subs were brought to you by Fortna. A lone goal tonight. Elijah Winder in the 28th minute for Lou City. 10-2 the shots advantage for the boys in purple tonight. And still Indy 11 maintaining north of 68% of possession. Racing Louisville fans, the next home match is on Saturday, August 19th at 7:30 p.m. against Angel City. Come out to Lynn Family Stadium to support your Racing Louisville FC. Tickets are on sale now at racingloufc.com/tickets. We mentioned earlier, Racing Louisville with the most goals of any club among players at the Women's World Cup. U.S. team will finish out the group stage at 3 a.m. in a couple days. Are you planning your sleep schedule around that?
I'll try.
3 a.m. is tough, but you have to watch it, don't you? It's once every 4 years. That looked like it was up off a hand. What do we have here? It'll be a yellow shown. And a lot of politicking going on with Ricardo Fierro. So a yellow for Robbie Dambrot.
And Indy 11 just like-for-like substitution there. Looks like Mishak Jerome came in at centre-back for Chapman Page. But dangerous counter-attack there for Louisville City. I think he actually, maybe if he releases this pass, his teammate's offside, but wanted to go it alone.
So that yellow card presented by World of Beer. Now a Lou City free kick presented by Fifth Third Bank. Dambrot still unhappy with something.
Looks like Lancaster may be looking for his second bite of the apple with his free kick. A little bit further out than the first one. Have to be something spectacular to score from this distance.
Fifth Third Bank free kick from Lancaster. Had one off the crossbar in the first half. See what he can do here. Cross into the 63rd minute. Lancaster right into the arms of Ertl.
Not a bad effort. Does well to get it over the wall and then dipping on target. But Ertl was in a good position to make it look fairly comfortable. But free kicks in that area is very dangerous for Louisville City. You've seen Lancaster has the quality to convert from that distance.
If you're a supporter of Lou City, at what point do you stop sort of enjoying how well you've played for the majority of the night and start wondering why are we not up 2 or 3 goals right now?
I think the Louisville City fans, I think they're as desperate for the 3 points as Danny Cruz and the players, and I think that's the most important thing what's on their mind right now is stopping the rot, stopping the downward run that they're on. A good performance in front of these fans and definitely 3 points in front of their sellout crowd.
Still plenty of time left in this match. No subs used yet by Lou City. 2 so far for Indy.
When you're having a little bit of a bad spell in games, you try to take things one step at a time and try to take little small positive steps to move forward. And I think they're heading in that direction. While they can't afford to get carried away, I think a win would be the next step in terms of moving forward for this group.
Dealing with adversity is always such a big thing in sport. Danny Cruz has felt like his team has not done a great job with that on the pitch this year, but they haven't had really much adversity tonight. So the body language and the energy have stayed up so far throughout the evening. Good play by Tellefson to keep that in play. And this is going to be a corner for Lou City. And an opportunity here out of really nothing. This corner presented by Wi-Fi.
The in-swinger from Jimenez. If he could just beat the first defender, he has some big targets to aim for. You have Tosh in there, you have Adams in there, you have Lancaster in there. Adams, as we spoke about, has been known for getting himself on the score sheet. Tosh, for sure, gets himself on the score sheet.
Jimenez puts it in, and Lancaster scores!
And just the break they needed. Great delivery. Spoke about missing the first man. He does exactly that. Lancaster is in the right place at the right time. Mishak Jerome just caught ball watching here. Doesn't mark the player. Straightforward header there from Lancaster. Get himself on the score sheet. We spoke about he's been on it tonight. He's been tenacious. He's been taking shots from distance. He's been working hard. And I think this goal is deserved based upon the effort that he's put in tonight.
That goal is presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. Kentucky Lottery.
But
third of the season for Cam Lancaster.
You have to give Jimenez credit for delivery. He's hit a couple corner kicks that he underhit. He hit this one perfectly sweet into that sweet spot in between the defender and the edge of the 6-yard box where the goalkeeper doesn't know whether to come for it, the defenders don't know whether to back up for it. And Lancaster is just in the right place at the right time, has the composure to guide it on target and into the back of the net.
So Lou City now ahead by 2 goals.
And they definitely needed that little cushion just to take the pressure off them, because as we mentioned, there's been opportunities for Indy 11 to get goals, to get back into this game. Now it's going to take a big effort for them in this last 25 minutes because they haven't really been that threatening in the attacking third for the 65 minutes that we've seen tonight.
And if you're a Lou City fan, you hope that tonight is a night that gets Cam Lancaster back towards his old form. I mean, for a player of his quality to have just 3 goals at this point of the year is something surprising.
Strong tackle there from Quinn.
Gives the apology to Ownby. And the yellow against Quinn is presented by World of Beer.
And the possession statistics are not that much different from the first half. Indy 11 still sitting around 69–70% with 0 shots on target. Indy 11, 30% with 12 shots and 4 of those being on target. So you can see there's a huge disparity on where these passes and where this possession is happening. Louisville City doing a good job in the attacking third of being efficient and effective in their possession play, and on tonight, converting the chances that they created.
Ownby getting worked on here. Guy who has missed some time. This is 16th match of the season and the 21st for the team. Look at that aggressive challenge from Quinn.
And I think Ownby's mentality and his work rate is contagious. You get that work rate mentality from Ownby, you get that work rate mentality from Lancaster, and then it creeps around the whole team. There's definitely a Louisville City when Ownby plays, and there's a different Louisville City when Ownby is not playing. He's an integral, a very important piece of this team.
Ownby has been with Lou City since 2017. He's now 32 years old, but doesn't even look like he's lost a step. Indy getting set to make some more substitutions at the next stoppage. We had a hydro break in the first half. Not sure if we'll have one in the second or if that little stoppage will serve similarly. Goal kick now for Indy, and we'll get those subs. First will be Harrison Robledo in for Robbie Dambrot. Robledo making his 19th appearance of the year, 21-year-old who's on loan from FC Cincinnati. And Solomon Asante in for Sebastian Velasquez. And those subs are brought to you by Fortuna.
I think Velasquez had a decent night. He was trying, he was trying. Things didn't quite work out for them, but he was definitely trying out there, working hard, trying to get on the ball, trying to make things happen. Had that chance in the first half that just hit wide of the target, but probably one of the stronger performances for Indy 11 tonight.
So 70th minute here, and a 2-goal advantage for Lou City. Justin Glancy, Chris Nurse, and the whole gang. Glad you're with us here for the action from Lynn Family Stadium. Sent back in by Jimenez. And lurking dangerously was Ownby. It'll be another corner for Lou City.
Yeah, Ownby just in that near post area. If he gets a touch on that, that's in the back of the net. Defender did well to clear that one away.
Another corner presented by Wi-Fi.
I think it was Dizpay there who's managed to get his foot on that and clear that ball away.
Jimenez, decent service. Oh, what a stop. Erdl absolutely robs Sean Tosh. Now it's Ownby. Winder. And cleared away. You can just sense how much confidence the boys in purple have right now.
And they're definitely looking, when the deliveries are good from corners, you definitely see that threat. Sharpie with the first header, and Tosh, goal-scoring centre-back at the back post, does everything right, heads it down, it's on target.
Now a chance the other way. Indy have not had many of these tonight. They'll win a corner as Tellefsen had to send it over the end line.
Great ball across the box here from Asante, but you see Sharpie heads this, Tosh at the back post. It's a great header from Tosh, but keeper does very well with that save. Odell gets down well quickly, parries it away and just over Tosh's head for the second attempt. Unable to convert, but the confidence, you can feel the confidence brewing now for Louisville City.
Service will come now from Jack Blake. And punched away by Zemla. Well defended again by Lou City. Louisville 2023 ticket packages are available now. Lou City's next home match is on August 9th at 8 p.m. Bring your family and friends to Lynn Family Stadium when the boys in purple face Charleston Battery. Tickets are available at loucity.com/tickets.
Lancaster, they're working hard, chasing down balls for his team, trying to keep his team in possession, wins a free kick. Not just working hard on the offensive end to create chances and convert chances, he's working hard on the defensive end also for his team.
It's really been a pretty dominant effort tonight from Lou City, ahead 2-0. Out shooting Indy 11 12-2, 4-0 on target. And now just about 20 or so minutes away from a real important 3 points tonight to snap that 3-match losing streak.
And I think Danny Cruz will be happy with the response from his team, from a work rate standpoint, from a chance creation standpoint, and most certainly from a chance creation standpoint, conversion standpoint. So I think there's a lot of positives that they'll take away from this performance. I think there's still obviously room for improvement if they're going to go all the way and be a championship contending team again. But they've definitely turned things around in how they performed tonight from the previous 3 games.
It's kind of funny that when teams are really successful, it almost takes something bad happening to really appreciate the success. You see the 3-match losing streak, and then you realize it's the first time since 2015 that has happened. The last 3 matches of the 2015 season, so almost 8 consecutive years without losing 3 times in a row is incredible.
Yeah, and the players, and obviously they become accustomed to winning, and when adversity kicks in, sometimes you're not used to handling that, and it hits you a little bit harder than maybe a team who's having more ups and downs. So I think this group has the character and the strength and experience to turn this around. I think it needed a big result to do that.
Adams getting the foul in his debut tonight. Hard to make a real assessment of his performance.
Yeah, he hasn't really been challenged defensively tonight. There's been a couple of shaky moments when the defense looked disorganized and Indy 11 were able to get behind, but wasn't really challenged any 1v1 defending, wasn't really put under pressure if balls played in the air or in behind. So I'm sure there's going to be more challenging games over time when he'll really have to show his defensive qualities.
Here's Aiden Quinn. A little bit behind Asante, who comes up with it anyway. Double deflection. And who had the last touch? I believe an Indy play. And we'll go to a hydro break as we get to 75 minutes.
Asante's been a bright spark into the game for Indy 11. He's put a dangerous cross into the box. You can see good touch, good agility, good change of direction. Tries to get shots off right now. He's definitely become a little bit of an attacking threat for Indy 11 in the past 10 minutes.
So 2 goals tonight for Lou City. First one came back in the 28th minute. It was Elijah Winder, the 20-year-old who got the start tonight, and he scores his first goal of the season.
Starts with Dia here with this switch of play. Winder does well. Look, he just drifts into space in the box. The unorthodox niche in toe finish finds its way into the back of the net, gives his team a 1-0 lead.
Again, the first of the year for Winder, and as you said, not the most conventional way to do it, but by any means necessary is the theme. And then in the 65th minute, Cameron Lancaster finds himself on the back end of this service from Jimenez.
Quality delivery there from Jimenez. Does everything. Lancaster just has to get his head on it, guide it into the back of the net. But the delivery is really what makes this goal count.
And it's the second out of 3 goals that Lou City have scored this year against Indy, directly off a corner. And we'll see if that one proves to be enough for Lou City to walk out of here with 3 points tonight. Still time left after this hydro break. Fans, head to Twitter to vote on tonight's Lynn Family Sports Vision and Training Man of the Match. Poll will be open for the next 10 minutes. Vote now at twitter.com/Lou City. I guess it's x.com nowadays.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. Woke up one day, you don't see the blue anymore. Now it's X. Overnight, bam.
They tell us what to read, so we don't, you know. Whatever it's called nowadays, but it is what it is. Everyone knows how to get there. By the way, if Lou City can prevent Indy from scoring tonight, it will be the 10th clean sheet of the year for Oliver Zemla, who nobody expected to be playing this much, obviously, this year. And boy, has he been good. Not his most difficult night, but still.
And we always talk about the confidence for strikers and attackers in terms of scoring goals. For defenders and goalkeepers keeping clean sheets, that's also, you know, contagious for them and gives the defense confidence going forward. We always taught if you don't concede goals, you at least minimum leave the point with 1 point. So that's good if this defense is able to go ahead and keep this clean sheet and build momentum from not just getting the 3 points, but also the defensive organization and team being able to keep that clean sheet.
Zemla leads USL Championship with the 9 clean sheets at the moment. Paul Blanchette of Oakland has 8. So Zemla with an opportunity perhaps to create a little distance for himself atop that leaderboard. We mentioned earlier the situation for Lou City in the Eastern Conference table. Indy came into tonight with 25 points, 2 clear of Detroit and Miami, each on 23. Loudoun on 20 points right now. Lancaster to his right foot wins another corner.
Indy 11 trying to play the offside there with this play. And Mishak Jerome. However, the defender at the far post was keeping Lancaster offline, and he was well onside.
Another corner brought to you by Wi-Fi. Jimenez service is in, headed away. Comes back on it though. Jimenez again, back for Ownby, and was that deflected? It was, but in on target and punched away by Ertl. Another corner for Lou City. Again, presented by Wi-Fi. And all this time, and all the hope running away for Indy 11. This one played short to Tellefson. Now up top. And Indy 11 defends this well.
Referee does a good job allowing play to continue there.
Ricardo Fierro allowing Indy 11 to play the advantage, but nothing came of it.
Looks like Harris will be coming in for Louisville City. See if he can get himself on the score sheet.
Great news as he has not played since July 9th due to injury. Harris had the lone goal in the first meeting between these two. Lou City hoping to take all 6 points from its rival in this regular season. Just about 10 minutes away from doing so. It's been something of a physical night, but nothing too much.
Hasn't been too fiery or malicious.
Don't believe we've seen a booking to a Lou City player. Free kick coming for Indy 11. It'll be Jack Blake to take it once again. Instead, he'll leave it off, and this is sent off the top of the net, but I think Zembla had a touch on it, so it'll be a corner.
Yeah, he wasn't taking any chances. He thought that could have dipped into the back of his net.
This thing looked like it was going to Neverland, and then all of a sudden became dangerous.
Could have just crept under the crossbar there. We know that Quinn has that wand of a left foot that just makes crazy things happen.
Honestly, after seeing the replays, I think it actually might have. Here's Harrison Robledo for Budati. Didn't get much on it, but this will be another corner. USL's second annual summer showcase signals the start of the sprint to the finish. Philip Goodrum and FC Tulsa head west to face Romario Williams and Colorado Springs Switchbacks. FC Tulsa and Switchbacks FC Wednesday, August 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2.
Gibson's done well in the center of the park for Louisville City tonight. Just putting out the little fires, intercepting passes, keeping the ball moving. He's been integral to them being successful tonight.
Another corner here for Indy. There's the new man, Kyle Adams, who got his head to it first. Budati out wide for Blake again. Cross comes in, headed away from trouble.
Great defending. I think that was Sharpie with that header.
So Roberto Molina is coming in for Jack Blake for Indy, and then on the other side, Wilson Harris will replace Oscar Jimenez. And Manny Perez will come in for Cam Lancaster, who gets a much-deserved ovation from this capacity crowd at Lynn Family Stadium.
Yeah, Lancaster deserves that. He's worked very hard for the team tonight, leading from the front, leading by example as a senior player on the pitch, but Harris will be happy to get out there, get his feet back on the grass and see if he can get himself on the score sheet.
Harris with a team-leading 4 goals this year. One of the guys that really represents the future of this club. Just 23 years old, second season with Lou City, after spending time in the Sporting KC organization to begin his career. Shots are 14-3 for Lou City, 5-0 on target. And the aforementioned Wilson Harris gets his first touch, and he is dragged down by Adrian Deespay.
Great play from Harris. Gets good controls of the ball, shifts left, shifts right, This play was all lost. He had to drag him down because Harris is about to drive straight past him. I don't think he can have much complaints here.
Well, it's a yellow presented by World of Beer, and I'm with you. It looks pretty clear that should be a booking. You said he shouldn't have much of an argument. He attempted to argue. So free kick for Lou City. Presented by Fifth Third Bank. Perez and Dia. Dia, a bit heavy on that touch.
Yeah, the layback wasn't going to work because Dia's predominantly left-footed, so the pass back was set for a right-footer to deliver that. Hence, he took the extra touch. It's a little bit heavy, gave away possession of the ball, but you can see Louisville City enjoying themselves now, getting creative with their play, set pieces, having a little bit of fun with the game right now.
Budati plays this to the middle. Maybe a chance here for Indy. Robledo, Budati, and it's just wide off the deflection. It will be a corner for Indy.
Tonight's Lynn Family Sports Vision and Training Man of the Match, voted by you, is number 19, Oscar.
Tonight's Lynn Family Sports Vision and Training Man of the Match is Oscar Jimenez from Lou City. Watching from the sideline now after a very good night, hoping his team can finish off this 2-0 advantage. Finish it into a victory. Robledo delaying around Ownby, chipped up high. Dispay tried to get to it. Now a bounding ball in is blocked away. Macaulay King was the one who took that shot. And now a corner for Indy.
Yeah, you just feel like the second game this week taking its toll on Indy 11 right now. A lot of tired legs, tired bodies out there. They're definitely feeling this 91-degree heat. The crowd are obviously providing that extra energy boost for Louisville City right now, especially with them being in the lead, and then you have fresh legs coming into the pitch.
Harris trying to run away with it, but he is stopped. Well done there by Robledo. It's funny how one goal changes your perspective on things. At 1-0, we were sort of talking about Lou City ahead, playing well, but should be up by more. You're kind of playing with fire, only up a goal. And then all of a sudden it's 2-0. And you look at the numbers from the night and the way the match has played out, and you think, boy, this has been a dominant effort.
Yeah, goals change games, and I think that first goal was a huge lift off the shoulders for Louisville City and just gave them the confidence to continue to play how they were playing. They didn't necessarily need to control possession of the ball because they were able to dictate the flow of the game without having the ball, because they were able to stop Indy 11 from being able to penetrate them to create goal-scoring chances. So despite not having the possession of the ball, Louisville City was still controlled in the game in the way that they were set up defensively. So I think it's been a good night for them.
Ray Serrano and Niall McCabe coming on here for Lou City. In for Rasmus Tellefsen and Brian Ownby. These subs presented by Fortuna. McCabe last week reached 200 career appearances, regular season or playoffs with Lou City. Good night for Ownby, good night for Tellefsen as well. 4 minutes of stoppage time here tonight. All that stands between Lou City and 3 points. Yunus Budati. Played into the box. Robledo couldn't get on it. Now a chance And Asante's shot was blocked away.
Asante again, first to react to anything that falls loose in and around the box. He's had 2 or 3 shots and been involved in two or three opportunities since he's come into the game.
Deflecting, and Zemla able to fall on it.
Frustrating night for Mark Larry's Indy 11, to say the least. Just unable to create anything attacking-wise.
Again, next up for Lou City will be a rematch with Tulsa. And you asked Danny Cruz in our chat this week, you gonna want revenge in that one? And he said, yes, but I'm not going to think about that until after Saturday. Well, he's about 2 minutes away from starting to think about that.
And at this phase of the game, if you're Louisville City, you forget about bombing forward and attack Harris. Put 11 players behind the ball, stay compact, stay organized, stay disciplined, don't give up any goal scoring opportunities, and see this game out with your winning and keep a clean sheet. They're still leaving themselves open to be exposed.
Nothing comes of that opportunity. There's Harris again. Out wide for Dion. He'll wisely back it out and run as much of this clock as possible. Cross comes in again, deflected away.
That's the players, the fresh players coming off the bench. At that phase in the game, you keep the ball in the corner, you keep possession, you don't allow the other team to have a sniff.
Hard challenge and a booking for Budati there.
That's a frustration tackle. He knows he's not winning that ball. He's coming in from behind. That's just frustration getting the better of the Budati there.
A yellow brought to you by World of Beer. So it looks like it will in fact be the league leading 10th clean sheet of the year for Oliver Zemla, but we'll have to wait a couple moments to make that official. Toch will just play it into the corner for Harris. And now it'll rely on the whistle of Ricardo Fierro.
Oh, Harris did well there. That should have really been a corner kick.
Well, either way, it's full time. Blue City back in the win column. 2-0 over Indy 11. 3 points tonight for the boys in purple. And that was a Mortensen Family Dental clean sheet. A clean game calls for a healthy, clean smile. And there is number 10 for Oliver Zemla, the most in USL Championship. And with that Lou City win, you can head to any participating Louisville area Wendy's tomorrow to get a free small Frosty. No purchase necessary. We'll take a break and come back in just a few moments to wrap things up. Our final score brought to you by Gorski Law Office, 2-0 for Lou City. One more break and we'll finish things up from Lynn Family Stadium on the other side of this timeout.
fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Kroger, we invest in local farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes as fresh as it gets. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Boost by Kroger Plus is more than worth it. With 2 times fuel points and free delivery, you can save up to $1,000 per year. Try Boost free for 30 days. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Well, they say the grass is greener there, but ours is dreamy blue. And there's no place I would rather be than Kentucky with you.
It's game time, baby. Are you ready? 'Cause I'm ready. It's game time. It's game time. It's game time. 'Cause it's game time. 'Cause it's game time. Cause it's game time.
This postgame is presented to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. 2-0 Lou City over Indy 11 tonight. And Birmingham ended up dropping its match to Charleston 2-1. And with Memphis also losing tonight, the boys in purple are back alone in 4th at the moment in the Eastern Conference table. So good vibes all around and a good performance for Lou City. And Chris, a look back at the highlights here, and I'll tell you what, there are not going to be many highlights for the team that wore red tonight. It's pretty much all the boys in purple here.
Yeah, I think Danny Cruz will be very happy with the performance and the result at the end of the night. Here you see Ownby driving forward, tries to find Lancaster, who worked relentlessly the whole night from start to finish, working hard from the front, creating chances, and he did get his goal in the end.
A little later on in the first half, Brian Ownby, with his tireless work rate, nearly caused a big mistake here from Yannick Ertl.
Yeah, Ownby putting pressure on the goalkeeper there. Goalkeeper smashes the ball into Lancaster. Then Lancaster smashes the ball against the crossbar from a free kick. Goalkeeper could do nothing about that one had it been on target.
But then finally, the boys in purple break through. Elijah Winder's first of the year.
Great switch of play there from Dia. Winder, niche in toe, but into the back of the net. Who cares how it goes in as long as it's in the back of the net. 1-0 Louisville City.
So Winder able to give Lou City the lead, and then late in the first half, I mean, is this the best chance of the night that Indy had?
This was the cracks that we saw in the Louisville City defense. Both center-backs here completely out. Gibson there tracking back. Does a good job to put the attacker under pressure, and he blasts it wide of the frame.
Lancaster continues to apply pressure in the second half, and then he finally gets his goal.
Great delivery here from Jimenez. Lancaster, right place, right time. Cool and composed, heads it past the goalkeeper from 2 yards out, doing what he does best.
So 2-0 the final, Lou City the win. Let's take a look at the full-time stats brought to you by Pave Masters. Just dominance tonight from the home side.
Yeah, but as we spoke about, while Indy 11 did have the possession, Louisville City were the ones controlling the game because they weren't allowing them to do anything with the possession. They weren't allowing them to play penetrating passes. They weren't allowing them to create goal-scoring opportunities. So Louisville, despite not having possession, controlled the game, and when they did have possession, they were very effective and very efficient, playing balls forward, creating goal-scoring opportunities, and most importantly, tonight, they converted 2 of them. They walk away with all 3 points.
So all in all, a very successful evening in front of a packed house at Lynn Family Stadium. Lou City will look to continue playing well next time out against Tulsa. Indy will be home for Memphis. So glad you could be with us tonight. For our entire crew, led by our producer Maria Ringo and my partner Chris Nurse, Justin Galanti saying goodnight. Lou City 2, Indy 11-0. Boys in purple end the losing streak.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship. Retransmitted, rebroadcast.